Life has a way of revealing people's true colors when you least expect it. You give, you trust, you believe in them, only to realize that not everyone deserves a seat at your table. At some point, we all come across people who drain our energy, betray our trust, or simply take more than they give. And when that happens, the question is, how do you respond? Do you confront them? Argue? Demand explanations? No. The most powerful response is no response at all. There was a time when Sarah, a kind-hearted and loyal friend, believed in second chances. She always thought that if you gave enough love, patience, and understanding, people would change. But life taught her a painful lesson. One day, she found herself at a crossroads. A close friend, someone she had defended, supported, and trusted, had been deceiving her for months. When she finally saw the truth, anger bubbled up inside her. She wanted to scream, to demand answers. But then, something inside her shifted. Instead of reacting, Sarah did something unexpected. She walked away. No explanations, no warnings, no dramatic goodbyes. She simply removed herself from the chaos, leaving silence as her final statement. And in that silence, something powerful happened. The people who once took her for granted started wondering. They noticed her absence, and suddenly, the power shifted. Sometimes, the best way to teach someone a lesson isn't through words, but through distance. Not everyone deserves closure. Not everyone deserves your energy. And when you stop reacting, when you cut them off silently, you take back control. But here's the real question. What happens next? What did Sarah discover when she finally let go? Stay with me, because what comes next will change the way you see relationships forever. At first, Sarah felt an emptiness. Cutting someone off, even when necessary, never feels easy. She had spent years believing in this person, defending them, making excuses for their behavior. But now, there was only silence. No more late-night calls filled with half-truths. No more fake apologies, no more draining conversations where she was left questioning herself. It was as if a weight had been lifted, yet the scars remained. She replayed everything in her mind, every moment she had ignored the red flags, every time she had convinced herself that things would get better. She had always been the kind of person who wanted to fix things, to believe that people could change. But some people don't change. They just take advantage of those who believe they will. Days passed, then weeks. She expected a reaction, a message, an apology, something, but nothing came. And that's when she realized something even deeper. Silence isn't just an absence of words, it's a reflection of who truly values you. The ones who cared would have noticed, would have reached out. But those who only took from her, they'd vanished the moment she stopped giving. But here's where things got interesting. As Sarah started to move on, as she began focusing on herself, she noticed something strange. The people she had cut off, those who had once taken her presence for granted, began to notice her absence. They started watching her from a distance, asking mutual friends about her, trying to find cracks in her silence. Some tried to come back, using the same empty words, the same manipulative tactics. She saw through it now. It was never about them missing her. It was about them missing the control they had over her. They weren't reaching out because they cared. They were reaching out because they had lost access to the energy she used to pour into them. And that's when she understood the real power of walking away. It wasn't just about cutting someone off, it was about reclaiming herself. But even as she grew stronger, there were moments of doubt. Did she do the right thing? Was she too harsh? What if she had just tried one more time? These thoughts haunted her, creeping in late at night. That's the tricky thing about letting go. It doesn't happen all at once. The mind clings to the past, even when the heart knows it's time to move forward. Then one day, something happened that changed everything. A message popped up on her phone. A name she hadn't seen in months. The very person she had walked away from. Her heart pounded. Part of her wanted to ignore it, to pretend she hadn't seen it. But another part of her was curious. Had they finally realized what they had done? Had they changed? Or was this just another attempt to pull her back into the cycle she had fought so hard to escape? Sarah took a deep breath. She knew whatever came next would define everything. But one thing was certain. This time, she was in control. Sarah stared at the screen, her fingers hovering over the message. A part of her had expected this moment, but now that it was here, she wasn't sure how to feel. The words were simple, almost too casual. Asterisk asterisk K, how have you been? Asterisk asterisk, as if nothing had happened. As if the months of silence didn't exist. She felt a mix of emotions, anger, confusion, even a flicker of curiosity. But most of all, she felt a deep sense of clarity. This wasn't about her. This was about them. People like this don't reach out because they care. They reach out because they feel the shift. They sense when you're no longer available to be used, and they don't like it. She didn't reply. Not because she was bitter or holding a grudge, but because she had finally learned that some conversations aren't worth having. Instead, she locked her phone and let the silence stretch. But silence has a way of making people uneasy. Over the next few days, more messages followed. First, another casual asterisk asterisk hope you're doing okay. Asterisk asterisk then, a slightly more pressing asterisk asterisk guy just wanted to talk. Asterisk asterisk, and finally, when she didn't respond, a frustrated asterisk asterisk, so that's it. You're just going to ignore me? Asterisk asterisk. Sarah exhaled. This was exactly why she had walked away in the first place. The messages didn't stop. Days turned into weeks, and Sarah could feel the growing frustration in every unread text. At first, they were casual, as if testing the waters. Then, they became more persistent, more desperate. The words shifted from concern to guilt-tripping, then finally to blame. Asterisk asterisk A, don't understand why you're doing this. After everything. Asterisk 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 you're really just going to disappear like I meant nothing to you. Asterisk 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 wow. I guess you were never a real friend. Asterisk asterisk. Sarah knew this pattern all too well. First, they act like nothing happened. Then, when they don't get a response, they push harder. And when that still doesn't work, they turn it around, making themselves the victim, twisting the story until somehow she was the one at fault. It was exhausting, and for a brief moment, she almost gave in. Almost. But then, something happened that made her pause. One night, as she was scrolling through her phone, she noticed something strange. A few of her mutual friends had stopped engaging with her posts, stopped reaching out. At first, she thought it was just coincidence, but then she heard whispers, things people were saying about her, words that felt eerily familiar. Asterisk asterisk she's acting like she's better than everyone now. Asterisk 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 should just cut people off for no reason. Asterisk 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 he don't know what her problem is, but it's messed up. Asterisk asterisk. It hit her like a punch to the gut. They weren't just trying to pull her back in, they were trying to turn people against her. Instead of accepting that she had moved on, they were rewriting the story, making sure that if they couldn't control her, they could at least control how others saw her. The realization sent a chill down her spine. This wasn't just about one person anymore. This was about how people react when they lose their grip on you. And as Sarah pieced it all together, she knew she was approaching a breaking point. This Sarah sat in silence, the weight of everything sinking in. She had expected pushback, maybe even anger, but she hadn't expected them to go this far. It wasn't enough that she had walked away. They wanted to control how the world saw her. And for the first time since this all started, doubt crept in. Had she made a mistake? Had she handled this the wrong way? She had only wanted peace, to remove herself from something toxic. But now, it felt like she was being dragged into a battle she never asked for. Then, just as she was trying to process it all, another message appeared. But this time, it wasn't from them. It was from someone she hadn't spoken to in years. Someone who had once been in the exact same position she was in now. Asterisk asterisk A, know what's happening. I've been there too. Asterisk asterisk. Her heart raced as she read the words. This person, someone she had lost touch with long ago, was now reaching out, confirming what she had feared all along. This wasn't the first time they had done this to someone. It was a pattern, a cycle. They had done it before, and now they were doing it again. Sarah's mind spun with questions. How many others had been manipulated like this? How many people had been made to feel guilty, made to question themselves, made to believe that walking away was wrong? And most importantly, how far were they willing to go to keep their control? She wanted to ignore it, to pretend it didn't matter. Sarah's pulse quickened as she stared at the message. It was like a missing puzzle piece snapping into place, revealing the full picture she had been too close to see. She wasn't the first. This had happened before, maybe more times than she could imagine. And if she hadn't walked away when she did, she would have been just another name on her. Sarah took a deep breath, steadying herself. This was her moment of choice. She could continue ignoring it, pretending it didn't matter, or she could finally put an end to the cycle, not just for herself, but for everyone who had been caught in the same web of manipulation. She didn't respond to the messages. She didn't try to explain herself or fight back against the lies being spread. Instead, she did something far more powerful. She lived her life. She focused on herself, on the people who truly cared, on the things that brought her peace. She refused to let the past define her, refused to let someone else's version of the story shape who she was. And as time passed, something strange happened. The whispers died down. The messages stopped. The people who had once clung to her, who had tried so hard to pull her back into their control, moved on to their next target. That was the real lesson in all of this. Some people don't seek closure. They seek control. And when they realize they no longer have it, they let go on their own. One evening, as she was scrolling through her phone, she came across a picture from years ago, one where she was surrounded by the very people she had left behind. She looked at her own face, at the way she had smiled back then, and she realized something. That smile had been forced. She had spent so long convincing herself she was happy, convincing herself she belonged. But now, looking at where she was, she finally understood. Walking away wasn't about losing people, it was about finding herself. With a quiet sense of closure, she locked her phone and stepped outside. The night air was cool, refreshing. She had no idea what the future held, but one thing was certain: she was free. And that was all that mattered.